Now, who was the first person to throw a katana? Who was the first person? Or a tachi? Well, another question is, who was the first person to dual wield swords or not? Now, the the answer you're probably thinking of is Miyamoto Musashi, but you'd probably be wrong. So my name's Anthony Cummins. Please get yourself a copy of the Book of Bushido if you like samurai. There was an advert for it at the beginning and there's an advert at the end. So the question, or a lot of people say Miyamoto Musashi is the first person to throw his sword, and that's why his swordsmanship was so radical and different. Actually, this is not true. We do know from this, I've been talking about this a lot recently, but basically from this manual, which is 1614. Musashi is writing in 1646. This is almost a generation before him. And this, not only that, but this book is teachings from 3 generations before him. 3 sword generations. So that doesn't mean full life generations, people training. So basically, from 1614 backwards, say 30 years, into the 1500s, way before Musashi's born, we have the idea of throwing a sword, a tachi, a wakizashi, or your short sword. It's actually quite difficult because even Miyamoto Musashi himself tells us we used to have a long sword and a semi-long sword, and now we have a long sword and a short sword. But here it is. This is the idea of holding this in a hidden position and then throwing it out. So Miyamoto Musashi is not the first person to throw his short sword as a distraction. It's clearly there, but that only adds to the coolness of Miyamoto Musashi, because he's saying, just throw your sword. That's how it's used. You know, that's how we use these things. So which is good. And then, of course, the dual wielding, the idea you dual wield. Well, Katori Shinto Ryu say they dual wield before Musashi, but I've yet to date the earliest Katori Shinto Ryu scroll that has 2 swords, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. But remember, you have to date these things first. But also, in this translation, which is a Chinese translation of Japanese skills, it says Japanese pirates sometimes wield 2 tachi, 1 in each hand. That's 5 feet in one hand of steel and 5 feet in the other hand of steel. How mental is that? So there you go. Who was the first person, or who was the first samurai to throw a sword? It was not Miyamoto Musashi. It was probably a common practice done before him. If you can help me out, get yourself a copy of Book of Bushido. It really helps me keep this going. And I've got a new microphone today, so hopefully the sound is much better.